How many books can I read in 24 hours? That is the question we are going to be answering today. As a kid, I was a pretty avid reader, but like most people, as I grew up, I kind of lost the passion. I substituted Mark Twain for Mark Zuckerberg and H.G. Wells for Uber Eats menus. I'm now 24 and I haven't finished a single physical book in at least a year. I've seen other people do this challenge and they don't actually do it in one day. They break up the 24 hours over at least like a week to do like 24 hours of reading. I'm not gonna do that. That challenge is for losers, all right? The weak, the faint of heart. I am going to be seeing how many books I can read in a single 24-hour period, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. Now, a challenge like this requires preparation. And first on the list is finding out how fast I can read. Now, I would not consider myself a fast reader. I would not consider myself even a reader that can comprehend what they're reading half the time. I usually read a page pretty quickly and then I forget everything that just happened and I read it a second time. Slower, so books usually take me about twice as long to finish. All right, let's start the test. Here we go. And test. I'll be honest, I don't remember a single thing about what I just read. Something about friends. Willingness can make a person a good friend. I don't remember reading that. I feel like I'm just doing this as if I was doing like a test in school, like a multiple choice test. I just choose the one that's the most logical. I see. Okay, so I got one question wrong. I have no idea which one it was, but my reading speed is 318 words per minute. And I feel like I was reading a little bit faster than my little brain could comprehend. Let's try that one more time. This time reading slowly, taking our time and seeing what the speed is. Okay, all right, well, I felt that second time through reading a bit slower, I actually kind of understood what I was reading, what the passage was about. I feel like I took in a bit of the information. Maybe it's because I read it the same passage a second time as well, but I think going slower helped a bit. Let's go. All right, so 100% comprehension at 291 words per minute, which is slightly below average. That's depressing. Look, at least I'm not a slow reader. At least I'm not reading 150 words per minute. It would take me an entire day to get through one book. 291 words per minute times 60 minutes times 24 hours is 419,040 words. Considering the book has 300 words per page and an average novel is about 80,000 words, if I read for 24 hours straight, I could read a little over 5 books. Now I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just read shorter books? Well, what defines a book? Sure, I could read The Very Hungry Caterpillar and Possum Magic and have 2 books down before I even finish breakfast, but I think that's cheating. So in the interest of making it an actual challenge, I am going to make it that each book has to be at least 100 pages in length. With the parameters set, it's time to lay out the obstacles. Firstly, my phone, arguably the biggest distraction working against me here. I average about 4 to 5 hours a day of screen on time. I know it's a problem. It's a real problem I'm trying to work on. So I'm not just battling distraction. I'm battling addiction. The urge to pick up that bad boy and just mindlessly scroll. To mitigate this, I'm putting my phone in work mode. That way I can still receive important phone calls and text messages, but I just don't get notifications from any social media app. To be fair, should probably be on 24/7, but it isn't. My second obstacle is Frank. This guy is an absolute wild card. I have no idea how he's gonna behave until the day. He could be as calm as an angel or he could be my worst nightmare. He's still only a puppy, so my best guess is that he's probably gonna be more of the latter. To mitigate this, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray harder than I have ever prayed in my entire life because that is all I can do. At this point, my fate lies in a higher power, all right? There's nothing I can do about it. Lastly, and the biggest obstacle of all, is boredom. I'm not gonna lie, the books I have chosen for this challenge are not the most exciting. Kind of my bad, but these books are like the shortest books that I own that are still considered novels. So in the interest of just, the challenge, these are gonna have to do. So I'm sure you're wondering, how do I combat boredom? Well, it's a little thing I like to call just toughening up. Yeah, I read the subtitles on Netflix all the time. So I'm thinking it's just gonna be like one really long subtitle. Right? And with that, I had done as much planning as I could. The only thing left to do now was actually just do it.
Now we're gonna bring in, there's no rules to this
Alright, I think I'm going to start with Journey to the Center of the Earth. Just an easy one to start out, get the ball rolling, get the juices flowing in the brain, and then we might move on to a harder one. But it's getting pretty late, so I think I need to just start reading right now. I'm ashamed to admit, but years of social media and unfiltered internet access have rotted my brain, so sitting down to read for more than 2 minutes was already taking its toll on me. Oh my god, I'm bored. I'm bored already. And to top that off, I encountered my first obstacle. I'm not even a paragraph in. Not even a paragraph in. And who's this at the door? Well. Oh, and I'm getting a call. Fantastic. This is great so far. Oh, fuck. Alright, take 2. Why are you hesitating like that? Come on. There we go. Let's get to reading, shall we? Journey to the Center of the Earth has been on my list of books to read for a very long time. The copy I'm reading has been sitting on my shelf for at least 10 years. I went through this phase where I couldn't call myself a reader unless I read like all of the classics, Frankenstein, 1984, A Picture of Dorian Gray. So it was during this time that I picked up this book, and honestly, I just never got around to it. And while all of these books are classics in their own right, I never felt the same enjoyment reading them as I do reading something written in, the last century. Maybe it was the pressure I put myself under as a kid to read them, so I always felt like it was a chore. Or maybe just using language and terminology from people that are actually still alive just resonates better with me. I mean, it's anyone's guess. It was a rocky start, but once I got into the zone, things became a lot easier. 20 minutes in and we're at chapter 4. Takes me a minute a page, roundabout. Oh my god. Honestly, at this point in the challenge, Frank was being a little angel. All those prayers were finally paying off. I mean, I could not have asked for a better companion to do this challenge with. It was perfect. I mean, look at this guy. What is he doing here? Okay. You good, Frank? Yeah. You good? I've been reading for about 45 minutes and it's already pretty hard. I'm already kind of feeling it. I'm struggling to stay awake at some point. I think I would probably find it easier to stay awake if I chose a book that wasn't written in the 19th century, maybe something a little bit more modern. Sometimes it's a little bit of a slog to get through, but I'm still enjoying the book and I'm excited to finish this one and move on to something else. I persevered through my boredom almost to the point where I had too much fun. I just kind of had to nip that one in the bud there and just calm down a little bit. The further I got into the book, the more a single question ran through my mind. What is the point of any of this? And by that, I mean, there were no stakes. It's just a bunch of dudes journeying to the center of the earth, as the title might suggest, but as exciting as that sounds, nothing actually happens. Something I always find really interesting about reading the works of like European novelists is that their main characters are always like bilingual or like trilingual or something like that. And coming from like an English speaking country where we don't really learn a different language, it's just a really interesting cultural difference. Like Jules Verne was French, and then I was reading Lolita as well, and the main character in that can also speak like 2 or 3 languages. It's really interesting. Like I don't really think any other novelists outside of European novelists have their main character speak multiple languages, just because I guess like it's a lot more common in Europe to be able to speak 2 or 3 languages, and in Australia you'd be lucky to even be able to speak English well. Done. I finished the first book. Nearly 5 hours to read 180 pages. That's fucking terrible, for one. Quick thoughts about the book. It's almost like the movie Jurassic Park, where it's more about just the wow and wonder of what they discover down there. You know, like a lot of the book is just like, oh my god, and then there's rocks down here, and there's plants, and there's like prehistoric animals. That's crazy, but nothing really happens. The biggest stakes of the whole book are, I hope we don't starve down here. I hope we don't get lost. The ending pretty mid. I would say this book is pretty mid. Glad I read it though. You know, now I have bragging rights to say, yeah, I read Journey to the Center of the Earth. So, on to the next book. This should be a delightfully pleasant read. A quick one, just to blast through. You know, it's got a couple pictures in it. Big writing. I reckon we should be able to punch through this one in a couple of hours, I hope. Maybe even less. Hopefully less than a couple of hours. Because having one book done, and it's nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon, is pretty sad. The Meowmorphosis is a book I picked up at one of those like million bookstores you see that have a closing down sale where they're selling their books for like 90% off, yet you never seem to remember seeing them there in the first place until they shut down. I picked up the book because I was a fan of the original work, and I mean, look at the cover. You know, it's hilarious. There's a little cat with a little suit on. I mean, how could you not buy this book? Oh, fucking hell. This book kind of blows, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna make some lunch and keep reading. Ugh. Alright, GoPro mode, let's fucking go. Oh, stop it. This is fucked up. Fucked up how good this looks. Oh my god. I love nuggets. I fucking hate reading now. Oh my god, this is so fucking boring. This book sucks. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of went into this book thinking that it might be semi-decent. I knew it was a parody book for the Metamorphosis. You know, I've read the Metamorphosis. I really enjoyed it. So I knew it wasn't gonna be as good as the original works. And the first half of the book is actually not that bad. The second half of the book sucks, okay? Exactly the point where the book starts to take its own little detour away from the original work that it's parodying, and the author just kind of goes off on his own tangent, is exactly the point where the book just takes a complete nosedive and is dog shit to read. At this point, I've been reading for 6 hours, and it was starting to take its toll on me. And weirdly enough, Frank too, I think he was starting to get a little bit loopy sitting around on that couch for so long. To be honest, I think I needed the distraction and rest because this book was a hard read, alright? Not in a challenging way, but just because of how bad it was. Done. Finished. Book 2 down. Thank God. Overall, did not really enjoy reading this that much. There were a lot of cat puns. I don't think I want to read the word cat again for at least the next couple of weeks. I did not find it very entertaining. Would I read this book again? No. Absolutely not. It looks dark as fuck here, and I was really confused watching the footage back to begin with, but I did check my watch in the footage, and it is 3:35. It's just super overcast for like 20 minutes for some reason. I tried to read A Clockwork Orange a few years ago, and I could just never really get into it. I tried reading the first chapter, and it felt like I was having an aneurysm the entire time, just attempting to understand it, so I knew it was going to be a struggle. And that's when it finally caught up with me. I'll be honest, I have completely hit a brick wall. I'm like 20 pages into A Clockwork Orange and I'm so bored. Not because the book is boring, it's probably the most interesting book I have read so far, but I'm sick of reading. I'm done. I'm so over reading. I have the goal. I said I've got 24 hours to read these books, but right now I'm dying. I'm dying here. I am dying of boredom. This guy's not helping. He's not helping either. Get fucked. At this point, the only thing keeping me going was the fact that I had just spent the last 8 to 9 hours filming a video, and getting to the end of it and saying I finished 2 books kind of sucks, alright? Kind of a pathetic ending to this entire saga. And with that thought alone sitting at the back of my mind, I pushed on. Boom. Done. A Clockwork Orange finished. Let's go. They said it couldn't be done, but here I stand. A Clockwork Orange is finished. I surprise even myself sometimes. I honestly didn't think I'd get through that book today. The book itself was probably the best book that I've read today. The stupid words that he made up didn't bother me half as much as I thought they would. If you just brute force the book, just keep reading, the words make sense and it's not that bad. I guess now, do I have time for one more? I don't know if I can. I honestly don't know if I can. You know what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a go. And give it a go I did. And by give it a go, I mean flip through The Hobbit and see how many pages it was and immediately tap out when I saw that the last page began with a 3. Yeah, that's not happening. And thus concludes the challenge. 12 and a half hours of reading in 24 hours, totaling 522 pages, which doesn't sound that impressive, but a lot of the books were small font, okay? All right, cut me some slack. Okay, A Clockwork Orange is like Bible paper with like size 8 font, all right? Chill out. According to howtoread.com, the total word count came to 223,992, or almost the entire Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix book, which after all the calculations means that I averaged a reading speed of none other than 298 words per minute, which is exactly what I got in my reading test. Let's go! Hello, editing me here. I've been editing this video for a very long time, and I just realized it's actually 291 words per minute, so that is not correct. Which kind of means I actually read faster. So, kind of a win. And there you have it. How many books could I read in 24 hours? The answer is 3. That's actually a lot less than I thought, if I'm honest. But I did it. It was a lot of pages, all right? It was a fucking lot of pages. I think I can die a happy man, never having read another word for my entire life. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a little book emoji if you made it this far. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. All right, and with that, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Yes, my thoughts exactly, Frank. My thoughts exactly. You're a big old underbite, boy.